If you're going to buy a home using your VA loan benefit and you're wondering, what closing costs do I need to pay? You're about to find out. I'm Rodil Mateo with NEXA Mortgage, and in this video, I'm going to break down for you what fees you need to pay as part of your home purchase with a VA home loan. It's a hella smart move to find out what your fees are going to be before you go home shopping. When you're buying a home with your VA loan benefit, the loan itself is not free and does have costs that are part of getting it. You want to know what these fees are going to be so you can be prepared ahead of time. As a home buyer, the only upfront cost you may need to pay before you find a home to buy is your credit report, because that's an outside hard cost the lender has to pay. Other than that, you shouldn't be paying any out-of-pocket costs before you find a home. You want to make sure that you're fully pre-approved and you know who your lender is going to be before you find a home, so that way when you find the right home for you, that's the last thing you need to worry about. Once you find the home you want to buy and your offer is accepted by the seller, then you need to start the process of getting your loan fully approved. The first out-of-pocket cost you're usually paying at that point is the VA home loan appraisal. The VA sends an independent third party out to the home you want to buy to inspect it and to make sure it's not overvalued for the home market you are buying in. It involves an upfront cost which you may need to pay as part of the loan. You can find the costs that the VA sets for the appraiser for your county and your state by going to the link I show in the description below. The next upfront cost when using your VA loan benefit to buy a home is the VA wood destroying insect and infestation inspection. This involves a local inspector going out there and finding out, is there any kind of infestation or infection in the property that's either causing damage, that's continuing to cause damage to the property, or is there existing damage that's been caused by some type of insects or infestation in the past? Your VA loan underwriter will see this report and they'll let you know what repairs, if any, you need to have done before using your VA loan benefit. The next set of fees you may need to pay are what's called lender fees, which are fees that you pay directly to the loan officer's company. So those can be things like loan origination fees, loan underwriting fees, possibly loan processing fees, basically a variety of fees that they may charge for your loan. You'll want to talk to your loan officer to find out what fees their company charges. The next set of fees are fees that are required for your loan but are not paid to the lender. These are fees paid to an outside party. So they can be things like homeowners association fees, tax certification fees, credit reports. Oh, the popular flood cert checks, basically to see if your home is in a flood area. These are all fees that are required as part of your loan, but they're paid to a party other than the lender. Again, check with your loan officer to see which ones apply in your case. The next set of fees are fees that are required for your loan, but you get to pick who's going to provide them. So these are things like lender's titles insurance, owner's title insurance, which protects your interest in the case of a property title dispute, possibly a closing attorney fees if you're in one of those states, notary public fees, basically notarize your documents, doc preps, and other list of fees that, again, you get to pick who's going to provide these services, although they are required by the lender. The next set of fees are government fees that are paid basically as part of buying a home. These would apply even if you were buying a home without a home loan. Things like county and city transfer taxes, property taxes that are still due for the property, or property taxes that may have already been paid for this part of the year by the current owner. Things like sewer transfer lateral fees. Can be school assessments, park assessments, basically anything that's paid to the city, county, sometimes state in the area where you're going to buy. You want to check with your loan officer and then either your escrow officer or closing attorney, depending on your state, to check on what kind of fees here you'll need to pay. The next set of fees or costs are what are called prepaid expenses. These are actually costs that you pay as part of owning the home, which your lender may need you to pay ahead of time. Usually you're paying 1 year of homeowners insurance to protect both you and the lender's interest if anything were to happen to the home that first year. You'll also probably be paying into what's called an impound account. That's where you're prepaying a certain amount of your property tax and your homeowner's insurance so that when the next bill is due, that impound account has enough money to pay your bills. The last group of fees you may need to pay are things that may be specific for the area or the home that you're buying. Things like homeowners association fees, Mello-Roos fees in some areas, home warranties if you're buying something like that. Again, you want to check with your loan officer and your real estate agent to find out which of these fees you'll be paying as part of your closing with a VA home loan. I hope this video helps you understand which fees or closing costs you may need to pay when you're using your VA home loan benefit. So if you're buying a home and you want to be hella prepared to use your VA home loan benefit, click the thumbnail image below so you can see our next video and be even more informed. I'm Rodil Mateo with NEXA Mortgage, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hella Smart.